Live from Microsoft headquarters in Seattle, Washington, this is the Microsoft Power Platform Community Call for June 2022. My name is David Warner, and I will be your host today. We are so excited for our amazing agenda today. We've got latest updates, and we've got an exciting announcement on Power Pages. Woo! We're going to have a group picture with Together Mode, and then we're going to see the amazing all-stars as part of our presenters today, Christine and Hugo. First, let's talk about a little opportunity. We would like all of you to be able to present on this community call. We welcome everyone to present a demo. It could be a simple pattern. It could be a tip or trick. Everyone is welcome. aka.ms/ppcc demo request. Please don't hesitate to sign up. And if you'd like to be provided with a buddy, perhaps you've never actually done a presentation together and you're a little nervous about it, we want you to be empowered and successful. So we're offering to partner you up with some members of the team, as well as other members within the community to ensure that you are empowered to be able to do an amazing demo. So please don't hesitate to submit your information. We welcome everyone, whether you're new or experienced. We want you to be part of this community and be able to present on this community call. We have a lot of new opportunities with Power Pages, Dataverse, Power Automate, Power BI, Powerapps. Oh my, there are so many opportunities. So don't hesitate. We want you to be able to be part of this community. We have our Power Platform samples as well. So we want to ensure that everyone is aware that there is sample repositories where you can actually provide samples. Now, if you feel like, well, I don't know, my samples are not quite meeting up to what others are, they're just simple implementations on how to show and do a particular thing or sample, then it's okay. We want you to show that and share that with the world. We have repositories set up, and in fact, we're going to bubble those samples up to the adoption.microsoft.com platform. Now, this is very, very cool because that means you're going to get your own personal profile at adoption.microsoft.com that shows all the samples that you've submitted. And these are free to the world. These are not something that you have to pay for. They're done by the caring contributions of everyone in the community, and they are not something that you have to pay for at all. So don't hesitate to submit. Don't hesitate to go use. Please, we want to help you provide those samples to the world, and really, we're better together. 2 heads are better than 1, 3 are better than 2, and when we work together to show the world on how we can create amazing things within the Power Platform, we're in a better place. So don't hesitate to do that. But you may say, what is GitHub? I'm not even quite sure how that works. I have no idea what a pull request is or a fork. I'm not hungry at all. Well, we are here to provide you guidance in the form of a program called Sharing is Caring. The Sharing is Caring program will provide hands-on guidance on how you can get involved in the community. So, for example, you do want to present on one of these calls, but you're a little nervous, and maybe it's your first time. We've got opportunities to teach you tips and tricks on presentations. You would like to submit a sample, but you're not quite sure how the GitHub navigation works. We're going to provide you hands-on assistance. These are safe space, free, hands-on opportunities for you to ask questions, learn how to do amazing things, and submit your samples. They are available for free at no cost. They are not recorded, so you're welcome to ask any and all questions that you may have, and not be fearful that it's going to be recorded or something like that. And don't worry, there are no bad questions. We all started somewhere. I know the first time I submitted a GitHub pull request, I was as nervous as could be. Thought everyone was going to see that I messed up, and I did. And I just corrected it. It's okay. We're here to help one another. So don't hesitate to sign up. We've got a Power Platform Contributors Sharing is Caring session coming up on June 29th. We've got some amazing things to show you on how you can contribute to this community and submit your sample. But we also want to recognize you for all the amazing work that you're doing. And so the recognition program has been created, and this is a unique, one-of-a-kind, first-of-its-kind recognition program that is done by the community for the community. Credly is the same Credly that provides those badges that you get when you are certified for Microsoft and you pass a certification exam. These are the exact same badge types. They're going to sit right next to your certification badges. You're going to be able to associate them to your LinkedIn profile. You're going to be able to share them on Twitter, put them on your website, put them on the refrigerator, get mom excited. everyone's going to be happy that you're going to get these badges. And we want to recognize you in a formal and official and an accredited way. So we do just need you to sign up and opt in. You can do that at aka.ms/M365PNP-recognition. You give us your GitHub information. You only have to do it once, and then we'll start tracking all the contributions you do. And in fact, our wonderful presenters today are going to get a presenter badge for providing those demos. So we want to recognize every and any opportunity for you that you've contributed in. So don't hesitate. Sign up at aka.ms/M365PNP-recognition. We've got a number of community events coming up that we're excited about. One of those areas is We Are Power Addicts. So it's an opportunity for everyone who is engaged with the Power Platform to chat, solve problems, automate processes with the Power Platform. You've also all likely heard about the Power Platform Conference coming up in September. So excited about this. We've got our workshops put up. We've just identified community sessions that are going to be posted here in the next couple of days. So we're super excited. There's been an incredible amount of excitement and submissions. We had over 500 speaker submissions for sessions and over 200 individual presenters that submitted. It is going to be an epic, first of its kind opportunity within the organization here, and we are so excited. So please don't hesitate to sign up for this. You can register today. There's going to be a lot of surprises coming up. We are planning some really fun stuff. powerplatformconf.com. Don't hesitate to go get signed up. The early bird pricing is going to be available for a few more weeks, so you want to take advantage of that and make sure you get in on that pricing. Of course, we also have the Low Code Revolution show by our favorite April Dunham. Amazing show that's showing off all the amazing people in the community that are doing fantastic things. Definitely check this out, aka.ms/Low Code Revolution show. What are some recent news? Well, there's not much. Oh, yes, there is. Hugo Bernier is joining the team as a community program manager for Power Pages. Woo-hoo! Hugo has been in the community for a long time. He is joining us to be the community program manager for Power Pages, and we are so excited to have him. So how about a round of applause for everybody? We are so thrilled to have him on the team, and for our newest release of Power Pages, it is going to be amazing. Absolutely amazing. And in fact, we saw that Power Platform had changed a little bit. Hugo, why don't you walk me through these 3 slides?
I forgot I was going to get to talk about this. Well, yes, there's a brand new product in the family, which, allows you to actually create websites that are low code, no code friendly. And it's built on the power of Powerapps portals, but it's kind of a whole new level where it's truly now designed for a low code, no code experience. And you don't have to know Liquid or HTML or JavaScript to be able to do that. But if you happen to know JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and Liquid, we're not stopping you there. You can actually take it to a whole new level. And so this is truly a product that is designed for low code to pro code experience. And I can't wait to tell you more about it later.
Awesome. Thank you, Hugo. We have him as a demo today to introduce us to Power Pages, so the timing is perfect. Well, that time has come that we all love, optional picture time. So turn on your camera. Let's show the community how amazing you are. We're going to record a little GIF here and share it out with the community. Let me switch over to together mode, and I will share my camera. And all this being done on one screen is incredibly hard. Yeah, this is, let me do this and do this and give me just a second. This is so much easier when we've got multiple screens.
So David's making allusion to the fact that he lent me his second screen.
Yeah, no, it's okay. All right. And okay, I know it's slowly sharing here. All right, there we go. All right, I can capture from this. All right. Let's tell everybody in the community how we are. Start waving. Woo! Say hello, everybody. Wave hello. Nice full house. This is awesome. Absolutely amazing. You are all fantastic. Super, super fantastic. Woo! Love it. Okay. Let me stop sharing and reshare the slides. Thank you all. Let's move into our presenters for the day. We are going to start with Christine on taking your Powerapps mobile navigation UI to the next level. Christine, take it away. Please take over the screen share. It's all yours.
Thanks, David. Thank you so much. Hi, everyone. My name is Christine Kolodjewski. I am based in London in the UK. I work as a principal technical consultant, and I'm certainly looking forward to giving you a bit of a demo. So what we're going to talk about today is obviously navigation in Powerapps. It's a very hot topic right now, and generally UI and UX is a very hot topic. For anyone that doesn't know me, I'm an active community contributor. You might have seen me on Twitter or LinkedIn, constantly sharing some various tips and tricks on how to kind of take UI to the next level. Anyone that wants to connect with me, this is the QR code for my LinkedIn, my Twitter, all of my socials as well, and my GitHub repos. If you want to get some free components that will shortly be submitted to the repository, please get them from there. So let's talk about the mobile navigation first and why it actually matters. Now, in the UX and UI world, we have what's called the thumb zone. Now, if I was to kind of talk to you about what the thumb zone is, if I was to just grab my phone, the thumb zone is effectively the area that's easily reachable. And can everyone see my thumb, by the way? Can everyone see what I've got on my screen? Let me just move you to the next slide. So the thumb zone is effectively the area that you can easily reach with your thumb while you're navigating across the application. So the top kind of bar on here is the area that's very easily reachable without having to kind of stretch your thumb. Then as we go a bit further up, you'll find that it's quite difficult to actually be able to reach, where if you get to the very top, it'll be pretty impossible. Now, if you're anything like me, I'm a very lazy person. I tend to kind of prop my phone like that and try and reach the top of the screen. The amount of times I've dropped my mobile phone, I can't count on one hand, unfortunately. So I've had to have the screen replaced many times. So what you want to make sure is that your mobile navigation is actually on the bottom here. So for any user that's using your application, they're able to quickly access all of the important screens in your application directly from here. So why does mobile navigation actually matter? Now, the first reason why it matters is accessibility. I have seen this many times where people have placed, say, a cog icon as an example on the top, and then the users will have to press on the cog to get like a pop-up menu or a fly-out menu, and then choose a setting from there. Now, if you are a person that's struggling with let's say, motor skills, so you're having to kind of navigate through application with one hand, it is going to become very difficult for a user to actually reach that cog setting and then try and get to that point. If you are using a screen reader as an example, the screen reader will not even pick up your flyout menu. So if you have a flyout menu that will become visible when you press the button, the screen reader will not actually pick it up. What will effectively happen is the screen reader will read everything that's on the screen, and then the moment the person presses the button, the screen reader will read the whole screen again. And then at the end of that screen reader, it will then talk to the user about the menu that they have on the screen. Now, another set of users that might be affected as well is people that use what's called assistive touch. So I'm not sure if you've ever heard of that. A lot of smartwatch brands allow you to actually navigate through your mobile phone by using hand gestures. So if you have a smartwatch, you are able to do this to navigate through your application. Now, I don't think I have to say that. If you have a cog setting somewhere on the top of your screen and you're having to navigate through your application using hand gestures, you are going to do this about 10 or 20 times by the time you get to the setting that you want to reach. Now, the second reason why, and it's very interlinked with the first one, is around user experience. Now, if you're a user, I mean, we're all in a rush, always busy. We want to be able to do something with an application within seconds. You don't want to have to navigate to a menu, go to a sub-menu, and then have to try and navigate through screens. You want to be able to open your application and have some kind of menu on the bottom. So if you want to submit a new request, if you want to see your basket, if you're using a shopping application, you want to be able to just click on a button on your screen. Doesn't matter what screen you're on, you want to be able to press that button and get to that immediately. And the last reason, I know it's slightly cliche, I'm kind of biased because I'm a very UX UI person. If your application looks awesome, your users will love it. The user adoption will be much higher as well. So your people will want to use your applications in the future as well. Now, one thing that I hear quite often is, Christina, I'm not a designer. I don't do coding. I don't know where to start. I just want it to work. One thing that I always say is get inspired. If you don't know how to create nice looking things, you know, there's still hope for you, I promise. So there's three kind of resources that I always recommend to kind of use. The first one is CodePen.io. Now, if you've worked in software development or web development, you'll be very familiar with CodePen. It allows you to see how different developers tackle a specific problem, whether that's a website, an animation, whatever that might be, and actually see the code snippets too. So if you want to get a little bit inspired, please do not copy someone's work. You can easily see how someone has actually tackled that problem. Now, the second website is called Dribble.com. Dribble.com works similarly to CodePen, so it allows you to see wireframes of websites, animations, and all of that, but you don't actually get the chance to see the code snippet. So if you want to use Dribble, please be aware that you will not be able to actually see what's in the back end. And the third kind of suggestion I always have is just take your mobile and see what you like. So if you open up your mobile, I'm not sure about you, I have dozens, if not hundreds of applications on my mobile phone. Pick the application that you used the last time. If you liked it, see how you navigated through the application. See if you liked it. What did you like about it? And try and replicate that into your Power App. So without any further ado, let's actually crack on with the demo because I have a very exciting demo to show you. So what I have done for today, if I just quickly navigate to my application, there we go. I have an application, and hopefully you can all see the application itself. It's an application called Apartment Manager. Now, this is an application that I demoed at the Scottish Summit last year when last weekend, wasn't last year, when I was doing an accessibility demo. And this application allows you to do things like changing settings, personal settings, changing the language, trigger a screen reader, change the theme, and do all of that. So the kind of use case for the application is very simple. I've recently moved houses and I have a terrible memory. So every time I went to IKEA or to a furniture shop and someone asked me how large the room was, I would forget or give them the wrong measurement. And then obviously the furniture doesn't fit where it should fit. So I thought, well, perfect use case for a Power App. Let's build an app I can take to IKEA and actually show the people what I'm looking to achieve. So the application allows you to see all of the rooms and all of the measurements directly from here. So I'm able to navigate to one of the rooms, see what I have purchased already, tick one of the boxes if I want to add additional things that I've purchased. Now, if someone asks me what the layout of my room is, again, I am very terrible at describing things. I can easily toggle that to map view. And as you can see, I can see the whole kind of place in a floor kind of way. And I can easily click on one of these. Let's say we'll choose the walk-in wardrobe in here. And as you can see, I can see exactly what I've bought, what's still missing in there as well. So the key thing that I want you to pay the attention to is the bottom navigation menu. So as you can see, we have a very kind of clear indication as to where in the screen I currently am. Now, from an end user perspective, if I can easily navigate to the home screen without having to have 20 pop-up menus, that's perfect because it means I can do my job really quickly, do what I need to do in the application and just navigate to do whatever else I need to do. So let's go and actually show you how this is built. If I navigate to my components, now in terms of how the actual component is built, it's very simple. I know it might not look very simple, but I promise it is very simple. We are using two controls. So if I was to open that pop-up in there, we have one control that's the HTML text and the other one is the gallery. Now the HTML control is what is driving the design from the back. So if I was to hide the menu on here, if we just turn that to invisible, you'll see that what I have on the screen is just a very simple div tag. Well, actually two divs on the screen. So if I was to just open the code view, if I just quickly open that up, again, that's not very readable. So I have actually prepared VS Code instead, so you can actually see what we have in here. So as you can see, we just have two very simple div tags. We have one div tag, which is the main kind of navigation menu in here. Sorry, if I just quickly pop that closed, and then we'll open VS Code again, wherever that disappeared to. Oops, that's disappeared. Perfect. Exactly what we needed to. Let me just open that up again. Open that in there. So you'll see that we have a very simple couple of div tags with just some very simple properties. So it isn't anything kind of complicated. It's nothing special in there, just something very basic. But that's what's given us that nice kind of UI. So you can see that we have the very native bar on the bottom here. Again, very simple div tag. It's just a rectangle with some nice border radius. You can have a little bit of nice box shadow around. So it just gives you that really modern kind of experience that you will see in a native application. And then the second part of that is obviously our menu. So if I was to turn that to visible, the menu itself is very simple. If I was to just navigate to the actual menu items, which we have in a component, and we'll go to menu items. You will see that I just have a very simple table with 3 columns. The first column is the menu item. This is what's going to drive the kind of name. So if you wanted to add a label as to what screen you're on, you will be able to do that from here as well. Menu screen navigate. So this is the screen that you want to navigate to when you actually press the button. And then we have the menu logo. Now for the menu logo, I am using an SVG, which is why it looks like it's a lot of code. It isn't a lot of code, I promise. If you want to learn more about SVGs, I will share some resources as well. So that's what we have in here. Now that we've kind of put all of that resource in here, we just need to drive a lot of the colors and then how the behavior works. So if I was to navigate to, let's say, menu, and we'll go to the image as an example, what you will see here is that the color of my SVG, we have the property here, path fill, will be driven by whether the item in the gallery has been selected. So if I have selected the gallery item and the screen equals the screen I am currently on, the color of that will be the icon color hex, which is a custom property that I've added to the component. For any other kind of situation, we will have the light gray color that you saw in there. So if I was to just navigate back in here, and we'll go to our application, let me just zoom out, you can see that this is what we're doing. So for when the screen is actually active, the color of the SVG will be blue. Any other situation, we just want that to be gray. So we don't care what color we'll have in there. Now, this is a very simple menu. I'm not going to lie that it's a very complex menu. It might look much nicer than it actually is, but there's actually a few more demos that I'd like to show you. So as you can see on the left-hand side, I've gone ahead and actually built not 1, but 8 different menus to kind of show you what you can actually achieve within here. So if I navigate to screens and then go to demo, and I'll quickly zoom out. These are just a couple of navigation menus that I have built. So the top one, as you can see, is the one that I've just demoed to you. So it's a very simple one that's just a gallery overlaid over HTML control. The next one is the same gallery, but for the background property of a HTML control, we are just using linear gradient. So I'm not sure if you can actually see, if I was to just quickly zoom in. You can see the color goes from lighter blue to darker blue, and that's all we're doing. Again, it looks very modern, and all I've done is literally just copied a code snippet from a website to get that nice linear gradient in there. Now, the next menu you might recognize from some of the kind of shopping websites. Most of the time when you go to a kind of mobile application where you can do a little bit of shopping, whether that's clothes shopping, furniture shopping, you always have some kind of basket button at the front. And that's because as a user, this is the key thing. So the company building the application obviously wants you to have that button at the front, so you make sure you go to checkout. But from an end user perspective, you know that this is the key button. So if you want to check out, you know that you just click one button. You don't have to click on 20 buttons, and you go straight there. Again, we have some buttons at the front. So as you can see, this is giving us quite nice user experience. I know exactly what I'm doing. Now, the next one is a little bit more colorful. Again, I saw an application that had a similar menu and thought it would be a perfect kind of use case for Powerapps. So for this menu, as you can see, we have the same principle. So we obviously have colorful items in here. The principle is exactly the same. If I was to just navigate into here, and I think it was our menu number, there we go. The principle is exactly the same. So we still have the menu items in here. So we have that gallery on top, and then we have the HTML text. Now, if I was to open the menu, the only difference that we have in here is that I have another div tag within here. And that div tag will dictate the text in here, and then will dictate the color. That's all that's changed. Apart from that, we are just using the low code properties that we can change within the application without having to use any code to customize that as well. Now, the next kind of menu is very similar to this one. The only difference is that you can actually pop out to the top rather than pop out to kind of sideways. So as you can see, if I was to just navigate, we have different colors, and you can see that that's kind of popping up to the top. Now, the next one, as you can see, it's a little bit extra. I just want to show you kind of what you can do with linear gradient and then a bit of box shadow as well. Very over the top. I can't see a use case for using that, but it looks cool. So I thought I'd include that in here. And then the last one is my favorite. Now, I'm not sure if you can actually see on the screen, but we have a little bit of animation in there. Hopefully you can see that. So again, the principle is exactly the same, and I'll show you in a second how that's built. All we're doing is we're using, again, the HTML control, and we're using the gallery items on in here. But the only slight difference is that if I navigate to our image, which is where the SVG code is contained, rather than use timer controls and do all of that to kind of create some kind of animation, which will then obviously kind of affect the loading time of the application because you're adding additional controls. If I was to open that, you will see that I just have a very simple code snippet to say that I'm animating the transform property, the transform attribute in SVG. And if I select this item, I want this to start moving. And then if it isn't, I just want it to stay static. And that's all we're doing. Just a very simple code snippet that I've added in here. And that animation will be there persistently. So if I was to click on one of these, you'll see that we have that navigating around there. So again, that's pretty much for my demo. If you wanted to learn how to do this step by step, I have recently launched a blog as well, which has a series on how to actually build this from scratch. So whether you are a developer or not a developer, I am doing a lot of tips on how to actually build it from scratch. And equally, if you don't want to learn how to build it because you don't have time or you're not keen on using code, these will shortly be available on my GitHub as well. So I'll make it available for everyone to use. Any questions at all? Anyone would like to find out anything more?
This is wait for it, amazing, Christine. Fantastic. Love the animations, love the look on UI and user experience. We always joke that your app could give you the fountain of youth and give you everlasting life. But if it doesn't look good, doesn't feel good, nobody will use it, right? And so you've shown how powerful that is today. Really fantastic. We'll get all the blog information and the sample information into the blog post for this call as well. And we will ensure that everybody has access. And maybe we can work with Christine to get a version of this up into the sample gallery as well, because it's so powerful. So that would be really fantastic. And she'll get a badge for that. Awesome. Brilliant. Christine, thank you so much. This is really epic stuff. And there are some questions in the chat. We'll let you go to that just for timing.
Awesome.
But thank you so much. Really amazing.
Thank you for having me. Thanks, everyone.
I think you'll be back again soon.
That was awesome.
I cannot wait.
Yay. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right. Next up is Hugo, if you would like to take it away.
Thanks, everyone, for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about Power Pages. And, I think if you were here last month, I kind of snuck in a presentation about Powerapps portals. And the whole idea for this was to, I wish we could have been able to talk about Power Pages last month, but we didn't get to do that. So I started talking about Powerapps portals last month so that we could actually see the difference today between Power Pages and Powerapps portals, which is probably the number one question everyone's asking is what's the difference between the two? So we'll definitely talk about this. But, one thing that I wanted to say is that this is really intended to be the Power Pages design series. It's not going to be just one presentation. I really plan on going deep down and showing you real life usage of the Power Pages. So it's kind of like the Power Pages cinematic universe where every presentation is going to be connected to the other. Maybe I'll need to get some after credits in my presentations as well. So we already did the introduction to Powerapps portals. And if you remember, last month I was able to do some cool stuff. I was able to start showing some data and things like that. But there's a few things where it was kind of like walking around it, like, oh, I can't change the color of this text, or I can't change this, or I can't change that. And that's definitely something that we'll see with Power Pages that we're able to do. But over the next little while, what we'll be doing is, today I'm going to show you an introduction to Power Pages itself, and then we'll talk about doing your own branding so you're not stuck to use the branding that's available out of the box, or even the designs that are available out of the box. Those are just templates for you. And, you're able to actually bring in any look and feel that you want to have. You can find some awesome templates out there and build them into Power Pages. The other thing that you can do is you can secure your content. And so that we can use authentication, we can make sure that there's some stuff that people only see their own information, or maybe their own organization's information, or maybe there's some content that's intended for everyone to see. And then we'll actually talk about connecting to your data in a future session. And we'll talk about adding code components. So a lot of you might say, I'm not a coder. I don't know JavaScript, HTML, CSS. That's fine, because the Power Platform, has this rich ecosystem of code components, or PCF controls. You'll actually be able to use your PCF controls, your code components, into Power Pages to do some really cool stuff. And I'm planning on showing some really cool things that we can do with that. Finally, we'll do, and this is just kind of, this is like the first phase of the Power Pages cinematic universe, but we'll talk about designing for mobile apps, because you can actually build mobile apps that are for the public or for your partners and customers, and we'll show you how to do that. All right, so today, to help understand the difference between Power Pages and Powerapps Photos, we should probably talk about the family. As of maybe a little over a month ago, just before build, we had kind of these four components: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agents. And with Power Apps, you could build some amazing applications that, but, like if we look at kind of how that worked, you can only really build applications for internal apps for your employees using Canvas apps and Model apps. And then you could share with guests your apps, or you could use something called Powerapps Photos to really create external websites for your citizens and your customers. We'll talk about some real examples very shortly. But the problem with Powerapps Photos, while it is a super powerful product, it did require you to go in and learn about things like Liquid and CSS and HTML to really truly get the features that you were trying to do. And this is where Power Pages comes in, is that it does allow you to really have that low-code experience to be able to build some awesome sites. So let's put Power Pages where it belongs, right in the family, right there. Woohoo! All right, so this is the slide that I'm legally obligated to show in my presentation. So Power Pages is an enterprise-grade, low-code software as a service platform within the Power Platform for creating and hosting rich data-first websites at scale. So, but really, what makes Power Pages unique? The difference between Power Apps Portals and Power Pages is it is really intended to be like a low-code, innovative experience, but it is also robust and scalable and an enterprise grade because it is built on Power Apps Portals. You can also have kind of that advanced web experience for DevOps and application lifecycle management, because we're not taking away the power of HTML and CSS and JavaScript. In fact, one of the things that I have been saying a lot is, with the majority of the Power Platform, once you've reached the boundaries of what Power Platform can do, you're kind of stuck within what Power Platform can do. But with Power Pages, as soon as you get to the limits of what it can do, you've just opened a whole new horizon, a whole new world, because now you can actually crack open the CSS, JavaScript, HTML. You can actually, if you're a maker, you can partner with, a pro dev, and you can actually build something awesome. And then my favorite aspect of it is authentication, authorization, and data layer. So it's built in to Power Pages, the ability to get access to your Dataverse data without having to do extra work. And that to me is beautiful. I'm thinking of some customers, for example, one of the large government organizations in my province, where they have forms for every single thing. Every single thing that you want to do in that government, they have a PDF document that you can download, you can print, you can fill, and then you can upload again. And then they have to have someone probably take that information and retranscribe it, copy and paste it, or do things like that. Now imagine if I could take that PDF form and I could turn it into a model-driven application in Dataverse, and then expose that model-driven form into a Power Page and allow people to actually submit data. But then that data is actually going directly in Dataverse. It's not retranscribed, it's not copied and pasted, and it can be made secure. And imagine if I could actually allow every constituent, every citizen to have their own account that they log in to Power Pages, and they can see only their information. And then take that to large, retailers who maybe want to work with their partners and vendors and suppliers to be able to kind of create that rich experience. And so one of the things that I usually stay away from talking about licensing, but one of the things that we hear all the time is people saying, "Well, yeah, but isn't that going to be expensive?" And again, we'll talk in future sessions about. You'll see that it's actually not that expensive when you look at the things that you're able to take away from having to pay separately, and that you're able to actually put that into the hands of your partners and constituents and stuff like that. All right. Now, a lot of you might be asking, well, how do I get started? It's funny because I have a slide for that. So if you sign up now, you can actually try a free trial, right? So you can go to powerpages.microsoft.com, and I'll be doing just that today. So I'll show you the experience and everything. And don't worry, I'm going to show you all the steps to make this happen so you can play the version of this presentation at home after I'm done here. All right, so if and the QR code will be posted a bit later in the chat. But the first thing we want to do here is we want to go to that URL that I give you. And then when you get there, it'll give you Power Pages for free for 30 days. You just need to put your email address. Now, it needs to be a Microsoft 365 email address. And then you get this. This is not a blank page, by the way. This is a picture of snow. Just we're be very artsy here, but when you get there, you say, "Okay, welcome to Power Pages." Your name is probably not going to be System. That's my name in this presentation, and then all you get to do is you have to just say "Get started." So if I click on that, let me find my mouse. Thank you. We get to create a site, and then you have kind of your. It's asking you, hey, have you created the site? Yes or no. It doesn't really matter really what you do here. This is just for kind of statistics. And then you see there's a whole bunch of templates that are available. And, we're starting with a few templates that are already available for you to use. We will have some templates that will be activated a little soon. So you see how coming soon. So we're teasing you here with the types of templates. But we're going beyond what you used to have with Power Apps portals where you have some cool templates. Now I'll pick any template here, and you'll see that we have both a rich mobile view and a desktop view, and it gives you the features that you can use. This is my favorite template to start with because it's got a lot of features I'm looking for. And again, we'll go through the various templates in future sessions. But let's do what we need to do. Let's actually click on, we're going to choose this template. So come on, my mouse is asleep. There you go. Choose the template. And then the first thing it's going to ask you is to enter a name. So I just type my first Power Pages, and then you go through this animation. I could sit here and watch this animation for hours and hours, but thankfully, unlike the experience you used to have when you built your first Power Apps portals, Power Pages will actually provision a lot faster here. Now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to fast forward this. Then you get to this cool thing, which is getting the site ready again. Come on, Pages. That's right. That's right. David, are you streaming some Netflix while we're presenting? All right. So once you get there, you actually get this welcome to the design studio. And this design studio is really a lot richer than what we used to have, right? We always used to have a preview of the pages, but now you'll see that you'll be able to actually go into the pages and add content quickly. If anyone's used the modern pages in SharePoint, you'll see that experience is very similar to that. And on future sessions, we'll actually dig deeper into each one of them. Let's move around here to the next section. The next section is the page's content itself. We're actually able to edit the content, and again, we'll add later because there's only so much we can cover in one session. We also have the styling ability, and again, in Power Apps portals, you used to be able to change the styles, but it was very limited. Here, you can actually edit the color palette to make it look and feel the way you want to. And then again, but wait, if you order now, I'll also show later how we can actually go in and really completely customize it to really fit your corporate identity. And then my favorite part, again, I keep on saying that, but it's really the power of Power Pages, is that I can actually go connect to my model-driven applications behind the scene, my data, right, my tables, and I can actually connect to that. And the out-of-the-box template that I just created starts with a page, or sorry, a table called feedback. Future sessions, I'll show you how we can design data for our applications and expose that data in a secure way to our pages. And then finally, come on. There you go. Finally, within the pages itself, every page, we always have the ability to do a preview. And you always had the ability to do previews with Powerapps portals, but this is a whole different experience, because if you've ever tried to test your Powerapps portal from a mobile device, it was kind of, you had to retype the whole URL, and I'm not very good at typing on a mobile device, so I always got the wrong URL. Now you actually have the ability to preview for the desktop right here, or from a mobile device by scanning the QR code. In fact, if any of you are fast enough, you could actually scan the QR code right now, and you would actually get my live demo that I'm showing you right now. All right, so we're going to wrap this here because, again, well, actually, no, let me just click on preview to leave you on a happy note here. We're going to do a little preview of the site that I just built. And this is the exact same site that you would have built if you had followed my steps. And see, so it's kind of a rich site here where lots of opportunities to put some content. And then if we click around a little bit more, let's just go to, I have the ability to actually use my contact form and fill in my details and submit. And when I submit this is actually going to save in my Dataverse data. And it's not using some, secret, magic here. It's actually using a very secure way to do this. All right, so let's wrap this up. Let me go back to the Get Started slide. If you want to get started with Power Pages, you can sign up for a free trial today. And don't worry, if you do something that you're like, wow, this is amazing. I can't believe I built this in so quickly, and it's actually rich data and it looks good. I don't want to throw that away. I don't want to lose it. You can convert your trial to a real production system.
Excellent. Thank you, Hugo, for that. And friends, this is really just a brief introduction. I know it may have felt like you're drinking from a fire hose. Wow, there's a lot to do here. Don't worry, it's going to be a regular series here where Hugo's going to walk us through how to take advantage of all the amazing features of Power Pages. And don't forget, we're working on a two-part sharing is caring session for Power Pages where we're going to walk you through how to do this together. We're going to learn together. We're going to accomplish together. So don't hesitate to look out for those dates. We're going to have them posted here this week. It's going to be a two-part, and we're really, really excited. We're going to learn together. It's going to be something we're going to accomplish all together. So don't hesitate to look for that.
Can we ask a quick question on the pages then, really quick?
Yeah, let's do some Q&A on pages. So Ralph, go ahead, and then I see some other hands up, so we can.
Yes, just want to get it kicked off for folks. So that trial for Power Pages, because before Power Portals used to be part of apps. So if you got an app trial, technically speaking, Portals was part of that. The app per user, app whatever, how many users you can do. So does that actually give you an environment? So that means under the covers, you do Dataverse, you can do everything else?
Yeah.
Or is that something different? Okay, so that's very, very important. So folks, that if you're doing environment management and that environment suddenly shows up, do not be mad because you asked for it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. That's a very good point.
Let me
Christine has
Christine? Yep, we've got some others in the regular attendees. Christine, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, David. Hugo, are there any plans for portals to support a higher version of Bootstrap at all? I think it's 3.6 right now. I know you probably get that all the time.
I'm not sure about the plans, but that's definitely one of the sessions I'm planning on doing is how to, you have a lot of power with Power Pages. Again, I wouldn't recommend for a maker to go in and try to change the version of Bootstrap, but absolutely, if you're a pro dev and you want to change the version of Bootstrap, one of the sessions in the future, I'll show you how to do that as well.
Brilliant. Awesome.
Thank you for asking the question.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks. So we got some hands up. Matt, would you like to go ahead and ask your question?
Hi. A question related to Dataverse, actually. So we are just trying to introduce Dataverse to our environment, and we have actually all our data residing in the SQL Server on-prem. So what is the best practice would be to bring some kind of data and to the Dataverse?
How much time do we have? There's a few things that you can do. The two probably important concepts that I don't think people are familiar with. One is the concept of data flows, and data flows allows you. It's kind of like, it's not to be confused with Flow or Power Automate. It's actually a different component that's in Dataverse itself that allows you to create a scheduled process that will go and get the data, do the transformation. You can even aggregate sources and bring it into Dataverse. But that's really only useful if you're planning on kind of creating a copy of that data that will reside in Dataverse itself. And there's lots of valid reasons why you might want to do that, because we want to make sure that we're not confusing transactional systems with like analysis systems, right? And trying to use them both for the same purpose. But the other thing that a lot of people may not be familiar with is you may say, hey, I've got some data that doesn't exist in SQL Server. I got data that I need my makers, my users to be able to use, but I've got some other data that resides in SQL Server, and it needs to live there forever because I've got all sorts of other systems that are consuming that. And this is where, to Ralph's point, you can use something called virtual tables. And virtual tables, if I could say it properly, allows you to actually connect your Dataverse tables to an actual record in SQL Server. And you're not duplicating the data. You're not even syncing the data. You're actually creating pointers back to SQL Server itself. There's all sorts of other mechanisms to migrate the data, but those are the two that I think that people are not familiar with enough to my liking. But there's definitely other approaches. So hopefully that gives you some ideas.
No, that's really helpful. Makes sense. And data flows are the same data flow that we have in the Power BI service?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, yes. Yeah, it's the same transformation formulas and everything. Yeah, it's the same process.
Great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Excellent. We have time for probably just one more question. Robert, I believe you had your hand up next. Would you like to ask your question?
Yes. With Express Design, which is in preview mode for Powerapps Canvas apps, will it make any kind of a transition into Power Pages? Is that on the horizon?
I don't know of any horizon for that, but that's actually one of the code samples I was going to do, is a converter from PDF to Power Pages, because that's something I did for a client that had lots of PDF forms. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know. We can talk about it. But as soon as I find out more about what the plans are, we'll let you know.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, let's share some slides out and wrap this up. Appreciate everyone today. We
didn't get around to all the questions, unfortunately, but
yeah, so you can feel free to ask those in the chat. All right. We want to appreciate and show appreciation and thank our presenters today. Christine, Hugo, thank you so much for your amazing presentations today. Fantastic job. Let's talk about some resources. There are a number of resources available to you for training, connecting to the community, resources, Power Platform samples, etc. So please don't hesitate to take advantage of some of these. And then there's other community calls available to you as well. So there's the M365 platform call. This is weekly. This is coming directly from Microsoft. So all the presenters are Microsoft presenters, whether they be product managers or program managers. We've got adaptive cards, identity platform, Office add-ins, our Power Platform monthly call, which you're on, and then 2 bi-weekly calls from the community as well on Microsoft 365 and Power Platform development, and then Viva Connections and SharePoint Framework. You can access all of these calls at aka.ms/M365/calls. The recording of this will be available within 24 hours on our YouTube. You can access that at aka.ms/m365pnp/videos. You can follow us on Twitter. You subscribe to that Twitter channel and that YouTube channel, and you'll get alerts when they're posted. You might see it available in the chat to download. You won't be able to download it unless you're within Microsoft. So be on the lookout at our YouTube playlist. You can follow us on Twitter at Microsoft365Dev, at M365PNP. The next call is July 20th, 2022, 1 month from today. You can download the recurring invite at aka.ms/Power Platform Community Call. Thank you all for being amazing in our community and doing fantastic contributions. We'll see you next month. Have a wonderful rest of your week.
Woo! Woohoo!